Hey buyers, I'm Kara. I'm a real estate agent here in Charleston, South Carolina, and this is my channel, The Better Buyer. On this channel, we are going to talk about buyer education, we'll talk about strategic investing, the market, and I'm going to share some things with you from my personal buying journey that I hope will be helpful. I am not a YouTuber, I am not an audio technician, I am a real estate agent. So I ask you to just bear with me, and with that said, I want to dive right into it today and talk about the 5 most costly mistakes that buyers make, and more importantly, how to avoid them. Buying a house is one of the biggest financial moves that most people will ever make. So I've got 5 things here that I think if you know going in ahead of time will save you thousands of dollars and a lot of heartache. Mistake number 1 is skipping pre-approval. Most buyers want to dive right into the home search, and I get it because that's my favorite part too. But the problem is that without a pre-approval, we really don't know what your budget is, and when you are ready to make an offer, the seller might not take your offer seriously. So picture this. You found your dream home, you're ready to make an offer, you reach out to your lender for a pre-approval, and while you're waiting for them to get back to you, somebody else who already has one gets your house. And what sucks more than losing your dream home is being house poor. And a house that you can't afford is not the perfect house for you. So don't even put yourself through that. Get pre-approved before you start the home search. Not only is it going to show sellers that you're serious when you make an offer, but it's going to give you the confidence of knowing what you can really afford. For some reason, the word pre-approval seems to be really scary for some buyers. But here's the thing, they're non-committal, they're non-binding. So just because you get a pre-approval from a lender doesn't mean that you have to work with that lender or that you even have to take out a loan at all. It's there as a tool for you. Now, once you have it, it's good for about 60 to 90 days. So before we move on, I want to give you 2 tips about pre-approvals. The first being, ask your lender before you work with them if they can do a soft pull rather than a hard pull on your credit. The second being, if you're going to shop different lenders to see who has the best rates, try to do so within a 45-day window. That way, all of the inquiries will be treated as one on your credit report, and it'll minimize the potential impact that it has on your credit score. Mistake number 2 is ignoring inspection red flags. Whether we're talking about people or we're talking about properties, ignoring red flags in general is just not a good idea. But the difference is people who have issues might get better over time. Houses with issues will not. So the inspection is there to tell us what's really going on with the property. A general inspection is going to cover the major systems. So HVAC, roof, electrical, plumbing, foundation, and any other major safety components related to the home. There may be additional inspections required if the inspector gets in there and sees something that he thinks requires a deeper look by a specialist, or even in the case of pests or mold, or if you have a pool or a septic tank, all of those things might require an additional inspection. The important thing to remember is that inspections are about awareness. They're not about perfection. So if you get a 50-page report back on a property, it's pretty standard. The information that comes from the inspection can be used to request repairs or to ask for concessions for a seller, or if it's a lot, you can use it to just say, this is too much for me, I don't want to take all this on. So take the inspection seriously. Ask questions, get estimates from contractors, and make sure that you're using the information in it to avoid any surprises down the road. Mistake number 3 is waiting too long to make an offer. This just happened to me, and it sucks. I had been working with these buyers for a couple of months, finally found the perfect property, sent it to them, they loved it. 3 days later, they were ready to make an offer, and it was gone. Regardless of market conditions, a desirable property that is priced competitively is not going to wait for you to make an offer. And I get it. It's a big deal. You want to think about it. Maybe you want to sleep on it. Just know that it is entirely possible that while you're sleeping, that property could go under contract. It happens all the time. So if you find a home you love, it checks all the boxes, be ready to act. Be prepared, have the pre-approval in hand so that when you find it, you can make that move quickly and with confidence. All right, mistake number 4, making big financial moves before closing. Here's how it happens. You get under contract on a house that you love, and you go out and you finance a bunch of new furniture because new beginnings. Or you get under contract and then you go buy a new car because new house, new car, new you. Fine. Just know that before your final loan approval, the lenders are going to check your finances again, and that new debt can disqualify you on your home loan. So don't make any major financial moves before closing. Wait until after you have those keys to go get your new furniture and your new car. Mistake number 5 is forgetting about closing costs. A lot of buyers are super focused on the down payment and forget entirely about the closing costs. And when I say closing costs, I'm referring to attorney's fees, lender's fees, taxes, homeowner's insurance, title insurance. All of those combined add up to about 2 to 5% of the total purchase price. So on a $350,000 house, that's like $7,000 to $15,000 in closing costs. But as a buyer, it's important for you to know that you have more control over this than you think. Closing costs are negotiable, so a seller and or a lender can contribute towards the buyer's closing costs, and that is especially true of new construction. I am going to do a video on that down the road, so keep an eye out. But you can also shop rates for attorneys, for lenders, for homeowners insurance to see who's going to give you the best deal. So ask your lender for a rate sheet early on so you know which of the expenses will be fixed and where you have a little bit of wiggle room to save. All right, so let's recap. The 5 most costly mistakes that buyers make ahead of buying a home are skipping pre-approval, ignoring inspection red flags, waiting too long to make an offer, making big financial moves ahead of closing, and forgetting about closing costs. By avoiding these mistakes, you will protect your budget, you'll strengthen your offer, and you can increase the chances of getting the home that you want. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Like, subscribe, continue to check out my channel where I'm going to dive even deeper into buyer insights, investment strategies, and everything else you need to know to be a better buyer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.